Hey, it's your pal Palamation, and so I finally got around to playing the Monster Hunter demo last week. I played it with my fiance, who was her very first time playing Monster Hunter, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to talk about my impressions on the Monster Hunter demo, as well as 5 reasons why I think everyone and their grandma should play Monster Hunter. Whether it's Rise or World, whatever, Monster Hunter is always a great time, and everyone should be playing it. So I'm doing this video unscripted like I did for my last video on Bowser's Fury. It's a lot faster. I don't have to write a script, as well as I think everything just kind of comes out more naturally than me just sitting there reading off a computer screen. As well as I like to try to add a few little like chuckles and ha-has in my videos, and man, can I not write humor for the life of me. I think my humor is definitely a lot more situational and comes a lot more naturally, and so hopefully that just happens and we get a few little ha-has and hoo-hoos in this video. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So my impressions are, it's a Monster Hunter game. Woo! I mean, yeah, it plays exactly like you would expect a Monster Hunter game to. I noticed this one definitely leans a little more towards how Monster Hunter World is, where it seems like it does a lot more stuff for you, such as in normal Monster Hunter, if you get herbs and honey, you have to actually like manually make a mega potion yourself, while this game it just makes it for you. Once you find the monster, it just kind of always tells you where the monster is, while in other Monster Hunter games you have to mark it with a paintball to keep track of it. One thing I noticed is that there's a little arrow pointing me towards the monster, and I hope this is only for the demo. Really don't want to know where the monster is at all times. I think it's fun to just drop on a map and have everyone split up and search for it. Plus it's just a really easy way to kind of collect items on the go as you're exploring. But yeah, I don't know if having all these little more convenient ways to do things angers any purists. It doesn't really bother me at all. Like, if anything, it just saves me time. Like, cool, I don't have to go through the effort of making a mega potion. It just makes it for me now. Either way, it seems like the core game is going to be the same, so it doesn't bother me much. So yeah, this is basically your standard Monster Hunter, but it does have a few little gimmicks and whistles added to it. The first one being the weird fairy whip thing. I don't remember what it's called at all, and I'm too lazy to look it up. This thing looks really cool from the gameplay and the trailers I saw, but I definitely did not get the hang of it at all when I was playing. I had no idea what I was doing with it. I'm sure I'll get to know it as the actual game comes out, so I can't really say much on it now, except that it looks cool and it looks useful. But the best little gimmick they have is definitely the Palamute. The Palamute is new to this game. Normally you just get the Palico, but the Palamute, you can ride him around. He'll attack enemies with you. I don't know if he can hold items and give you items like a Palico can. I'm not sure what his intelligence level is compared to the Palicos, but even if he can't, like, it's a very nice trade-off to be able to ride him around. He's very fast. You can get around maps a lot quicker on him, as well as the fact that you can launch yourself off of him to try to mount monsters. I don't know if this actually works. I tried it a lot and I could not get it to work. I don't know if I was just doing it wrong or just having horrible luck, but I'm definitely going to keep trying in the future to mount monsters by jumping off of my Palamute. So as mentioned before, I played this with my fiance. It was her first time ever playing a Monster Hunter game, and I could tell she was getting really into it when she said, "Oh my god, this thing is taking forever to die. Why does it fucking keep running away?"
Why are you running? Why are you running?
And I was just like, yep, she gets what Monster Hunter is all about. Yep, so that's my first impressions on the Monster Hunter demo. Not really much to say, because it seems like your standard Monster Hunter with just like a few little tiny changes here and there. So either way, I feel safe with it. I feel like I can fully expect it to be a great and fun game. But now I want to get into 5 reasons why I think everyone and their grandma should play Monster Hunter. So reason number 1. It's really fucking good. I mean, Monster Hunter to me on paper sounds like a game that should not work, because Monster Hunter is a very repetitive game, but it's not a bad thing. In Monster Hunter, what you do is you drop down on the map, you run around and find whatever items you can to help you out, and then you go fight the monster, kill it, carve it, make cool ass weapons and armor out of it, and then you just rinse and repeat that for ever. What's nice too is if you're not into killing the monster, you can always just capture it, which is honestly more fun anyways, as you have to do a little bit of a setup for it, and you also usually get more items by doing it this way. And yeah, like I said, on paper this sounds like something that'd be really repetitive, but it's just not. It's always a ton of fun. I think one thing that people can really get into and appreciate about it is the equipment. There's so many things you can do to prep yourself for battles. There's so many different items you can make, so many different traps. There's different foods you can eat for different stat boosting effects. Honestly, honestly, I would say like 60-70% of the battle is actually in the prep, because it's very important to customize yourself, and there's no right or wrong way to really do anything, I guess, unless you're going against an elemental monster and using the wrong element. That probably doesn't help, because you can heal them with the wrong element, so be careful. But besides that, yeah, like there's no real wrong way. There's a ton of different strategies and everything to fight the monsters, and that's just one thing I find really amazing about it. So basically, all the reasons on this list are gonna basically go under this one, the it's really fucking good reason. But let's get into number 2, which is weapon variety. There are so many different kinds of weapons to fight with in this game. Well, not just this game, but Monster Hunter in general. But what's really great about it is it's kind of like Smash Bros, where everyone usually kind of picks 1 or 2 mains and they stick with those, and that's basically what you'll probably be like with the weapons. There's several different ways you can go about it. Like, say if you want to keep away from the monster because you keep dying, you can go with the bow and arrow to give yourself some more distance and have a better chance of surviving him. If you want to just get in there really fast, hack and slash, you can use something like the sword and shield, and the shield's nice because you can even block some attacks with it. And if you're not sure if you want to be a heavy hitter or a fast attacker, you can always use the switch axe, where you can use the sword mode to get in there and get some quick jabs, and then you can switch to the axe for those big heavy hits. Honestly, just every weapon in this is a ton of fun, and it's really just trying them all out and finding which one you're more comfortable with. I'm definitely an insect glaive, bow and arrow, and sword and shield kind of guy. I've used all 3 of those in different ways. So number 3 is local/online co-op. Now, unless you're a masochist, you are going to want to play this game with friends. It's not so bad starting off in the beginning, going at monsters by yourself, but it definitely gets very, very hard. And not only do having more friends around make the battle just a little bit easier, as the monsters have more enemies to target, but it's also just more fun that way. This is probably, honestly, my favorite cooperative game series ever. As unlike a lot of other cooperative games where it's like you're all on a team, but you're kind of doing your own thing, no, it's you and a bunch of people targeting one big-ass monster, and you have to strategize with each other, and if one of you dies too many times, it kicks you all out of the match, which means that you want to not only keep yourself alive, but make sure you do your best to keep your teammates alive too. I won't lie to you, this game is really freaking hard, but that's honestly where the most fun from it is. Think of a game like Kingdom Hearts 2, where you defeat a secret boss like Lingering Will or Sephiroth, and the huge sense of accomplishment you get when you beat them, and it's like, yeah, you might get really mad in the moment, but the second you beat them, you're like, fuck yeah, I did it, ah! And it's basically, this game is basically that over and over again, except you get to share that experience with several other friends, and even if you don't have a lot of local people you can play with, like, you will have no trouble finding people online. This is probably one of the greatest communities I've ever played games with. Everyone I've played with is super nice. Like, half of my Switch friends list is people I played Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate with, and most people, they kind of have this understanding of, like, say if there's a certain quest or monster you want to fight, usually if people join your lobby, they'll be down to kind of take turns, like, okay, I'll help you with this monster, then you help me with mine, and then we'll help a third guy with his monster, and then it just kind of goes from there. What's really nice too is it's actually, I had a good handful of times where I'd find people that were just maxed out hunter rank, and they would just help me just because they felt like helping me. Like, they'd be like, no, we'll keep doing your quests, your missions. Like, we're just here to help. And there's a ton of people like that. Like, honestly, like I said, it's a really just nice and good community. And so it's a ton of fun to play with friends. It's very hard, but like I said, you get this huge sense of accomplishment every time you kill a monster, and you get to share it with several friends. And it's definitely really fun just having everyone have their own equipment and traps and barrel bombs. Like, one of the most satisfying feelings you can get in a battle is when someone manages to put the monster to sleep, and then everyone just goes and sets up dozens of barrel bombs by the monster, and you just blow it sky high. Now for number 4, we have Bang for Your Buck. So this is going to be a $60 game. Most Monster Hunter games are full price games. But what's nice is you're easily going to get like 200, 300 hours out of each Monster Hunter title. These games, they are just consistently updated with new monsters. And even if they weren't, there's just still so many monsters in the base game to fight that it never ends. And it's not like you fight one monster and you're all done with that monster. No. If you want to make most really cool armor or weapons, you have to keep fighting that monster a good handful of times before you're able to kind of make everything, and then you can move on to the next tougher monster and you can make armor and weapons out of him, and then you can kill him and make better armors and weapons out of him, and then it just kind of keeps going forever, and that's the entire game. But it's never, like I said, it never gets repetitive. It's always just so much fun every time, and you always get amazed and wowed at all the cool ass armors and weapons you'll be able to make. And like I said, this game is very very addicting. It's going to pull you in. You'll easily get 200, 300 hours, like no problem. And so the fifth and final reason I have on my list is crossovers. This is definitely what pulled me in and probably a lot of other people into Monster Hunter, and that is they love to do their crossovers in this game. I think I first got pulled in when I started seeing like the Link outfits, and they do Fire Emblem all the time. Like they've had Marth and Lucina and Chrom, and they do several it's a Capcom game, and so they do several Capcom as well. They do Street Fighter, they've done Devil May Cry, they even done Final Fantasy crossovers, which the Behemoth armor is actually my main armor that I use in Monster Hunter World, and is the reason that I love the Insect Glaive so much. So if you're a fan of multiple game series and you really hope to see some Nintendo or Capcom or even Final Fantasy outfits in this game, like there's a good chance that's gonna happen, and you get to play as whatever favorite characters you want to play as. I'll probably actually end up making some top 5s on top 5 Palicos and Palamute and Hunter armors and skins that I hope to see in this game, because I'm certain they're coming. We just haven't seen them yet. So yeah, that's everything I got to say. That's 5 of just a million reasons why I think everyone should play Monster Hunter series and why it's really fucking good. Like I said, reason number 1, it really just it covers it all. Like if you don't want to take my word for it, go download the demo. I think it's still available. It might not be, I don't know. I haven't checked. But if not, like definitely download that demo, try it out for yourself. It may seem hard, but I promise you'll get the hang of it.
Dude, sucking at something is the first step towards being sorta good at something.
And I do plan on streaming this game a ton when it comes out. It'll probably fill up a good chunk of my weekends. And if you're watching and you notice a spare spot in the team, definitely feel free to join me and we'll all go hunt monsters together. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys. If you like this video, please comment whether you're excited for this game or whether it's convinced you to try it out. Whatever you want to comment. Just tell me how your day went. I don't care. Anything helps. If you could subscribe, that would be really super duper. But until next time, it's been real, it's been fun, it's been real fun. Have a good one.